Okay, hi, welcome folks. And I was anticipating doing one speech and now I'm going to be doing another. The issue for me here is, after listening to the sacrifices that so many people have made to create our country, the supreme sacrifice, that it sometimes makes us seem small. What have we done? What can we do that haven't performed in the armed services? And one of the things that you can thank yourselves for is that just at the recent town meeting, we have dedicated another memorial park in town. It will be completed next year for our tricentennial, the 300th birthday of Easton, and it is in honor of Lieutenant Lawrence Swift, who died during the First World War. Private Swift was a resident of Furnace Village, and he was a medical orderly in 1918 when the Great Flu epidemic came along, and he was in a hospital in Texas when he contracted the flu while taking care of other people, and died. So he made a sacrifice during the war, but he was also a first responder. In 1934, his relatives donated a small 1/3 of an acre plot of land to be Swift's Memorial Park, and for about 40 years it was known to a few, mostly residents of Furnace Village. And so in 1934, the family donated this park to the town, and for 40 years things sort of languished. And then in 1974, the newly created Historical Commission recognized Swift's Park with a memorial marker. And then a few years later, they upgraded that marker in honor of Private Swift. And then from 1983 to the present day, not much happened. Furnace Village, as you may remember, is being revitalized. The town, with a vote of your town meeting, has decided to create a memorial park for first responders. First responders for the Great Flu epidemic of 1918, but also for the COVID epidemic, and is well to honor the people that were lost in both epidemics. And that's about 150 people from Easton have died from the two epidemics over the course of the many, many years. That park will be open next year as part of our tricentennial. And the lucky thing about the tricentennial is we have a wonderful group of activities planned: fireworks, bonfires, parades. But we also are hoping to revitalize the sense of community by building neighborhood awareness. So every neighborhood is going to be having block parties to recognize people of importance, and also have some fun and get folks together. So down there, obviously, we're going to be doing something with Private Swift, but for the first time ever in the 300-year history of Easton, we are going to include in that memorial park a recognition of the ultimate first responders, the guys on April 19th, 1775, who marched off to start the American War of Independence. And that's because in Furnace Village, we have a recognition that the militia was called out at that point, and during the Revolutionary War, one of the residents of Furnace Village, many of the residents of Furnace Village, made weapons for the Revolutionary Army. So we're going to recognize first responders, much as we should, as those of you who were watching earlier today. You could see that first responders are always necessary, oftentimes here at our parade, which takes place in humid conditions. So we lost a performer today, but responders were on the scene and everything turned out perfectly fine. I also want to speak about the fact that people who give everything don't necessarily die immediately in war. I want to recognize a veteran of Easton, Ross Henderson, who just died over the past weekend. Ross was a Vietnam veteran. He was in the Navy and served 2 terms as a gunner. And his obituary noted the fact that at age 73, 50 years after his service, he died of complications of Agent Orange. So people are still dying from their service in the Vietnam War. So let's remember 2 things. Number 1, there's plenty that we can do. We just voted a memorial park, so more people will never be forgotten. And second of all, even if someone doesn't die of an immediate cause like Agent Orange, oftentimes folks who serve in the war are scarred for life. Sometimes those scars don't show on the outside, but if you guys talk to your neighbors who serve and listen to their stories, it will oftentimes help make things better. Well, that's about it. Thank you very much for being here today, and I hope you enjoyed the Memorial Day celebration.